Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about how you can write amazing emails for your e-commerce brand super quickly, super easily, and that will make you literally tens of thousands of dollars if you have a big enough list and if you have a good enough product. So let's get started. So by the way, if you don't know me, I'm Kevin. I make millions of dollars for e-commerce brands with email and SMS, and I can do the same for you. You know the thing. So let's actually get into it. Number one, in this video, we're going to discuss promotional campaigns only. So if you're here to learn about how I make those amazing plain text emails with like infotainment and storytelling, things like that, we're not going to talk about that here. That will be covered in future videos. Now, the first thing you need is an email idea/angle. So with emails, really, you just want to talk about things that are going to make you money, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to talk about your audience's problems, frustrations, pains, fears, goals, aspirations, benefits, everything that they want and everything that they don't want, right? You're going to talk about that stuff. You're going to talk about things that are relevant to them. Now, there are ways to make irrelevant things relevant, but that's not the point of this presentation. This is going to be just a super easy way for you to make money with campaigns, right? So how do you actually write these emails? Let's say you've taken a problem or a pain or a goal that your audience has. What do you actually do with it? So number one, you start with the logo and the headline, right? So the headline has to be short, it has to be concise, and it has to communicate the main goal of the email immediately. And this is super important, right? Super short headline. I mean, by super short, I mean like anywhere between like 3 to 12 words, somewhere between them. You don't really need to be super strict with it. You can even make it longer, but it depends on the context, right? But for now, let's keep it simple. Keep the headline short and concise, and make sure it communicates the goal of the email immediately. So it has to be extremely relevant to what the email is about. And I'm going to show you some examples of what good headlines would look like. It could be kept slightly vague if your kind of aim of the email is like curiosity, right? So if you just want people to kind of read the content without actually putting too much focus on the headline, then you would make it like a curiosity-based headline. But that's again not something we're going to talk about here. Again, we want to keep it super simple. So short, concise, communicate the aim, and also agitate people's pains and future benefits. So whatever pain or benefit you're going to talk about, put it in the headline. And also, if you have an offer, you have to communicate it in the headline. That's what's going to make you the most money. A lot of people just forget to do that. They write like, Black Friday sale or Cyber Monday or whatever, 4th of July sale. And then, people don't actually know how much money they're going to get for what the discount is in the sale. And it's like, come on, mention the discount here. Yeah, mention the discount, and also try taking words directly from your market research. Here's where I show you some examples. By the way, I am going to make a separate video for market research, but it's super simple, really. Find out where your audience hangs out. So basically, if it's like a mascara brand or any kind of makeup brand, to be honest, they're going to hang out on r/makeup. You're going to get tons. Basically, what you want to do is look up the word mascara or whatever your product is in the Reddit search bar, and then it's gonna let you sort by the upvotes. That's what you want to do, because if the more upvotes a post or comment has, the more it resonates with your audience, right? So that's what you want to do, and then you'll come across different posts, and they're gonna talk about all their problems and benefits and all the goals and aspirations and pains and fears and things like that, and frustrations. And so you want to note them down in a separate document somewhere, and then kind of use them in your copy whenever you want, however you want, right? So let me give you an example. This person says, no need for a day to night makeup if you had or have oily lids. And so basically oily lids make the mascara and eyeliner smudge, right? So what are we going to talk about? The perfect no smudge mascara for oily skin. This is the headline. And if you have this kind of mascara and if a large part of your audience has oily skin, this is going to be a banger of a headline, right? I've literally wasted so much time and money on drugstore mascaras. Now, if you have a higher end mascara that's not a drugstore mascara, this is what it would be. By the way, I'm using mascara examples because it's one of my favorite niches, but it's not like I don't discriminate. If you don't have a niche that hangs out on a certain subreddit, then what you can do is look up forums. So let's say it's a furniture, you could just look up furniture forums or parenting forums, things like that, and find out a forum that's actually still relevant in today's times, because a lot of forums kind of have died down. but a lot of them are still alive. If you don't have forums, go for communities, which are really popping right now. Like people really like online communities where people, Facebook groups and things like that, where people can talk about these, these things, their problems, solutions, pains, benefits, things like that. Facebook groups, school groups, Discord groups, whatever you can find, right? And finally, that's all I want to say, to be honest. Let's go back here. This person said, I don't like it. I don't like it either. I end up with raccoon eyes. This is a massive, massive pain point for the mascara niche. So super simple headline, say goodbye to raccoon eyes. You don't need to make it insanely complex unless to communicate the message, you have to make it complex. Otherwise, keep it super simple, right? Finally, a waterproof mascara that lives up to the hype. This is basically another objection, which is that a lot of mascaras can disappoint you. They don't live up to the hype and things like that. They also flake and smudge and things like that. So you could say, finally, a waterproof mascara that lives up to the hype. You could also say something like, this waterproof mascara actually works without clumping, flaking, or smudging, right? Now you've covered like 5 different points, including 3 or 4 pain points and like 1 actually like goal and aspiration, things like that. So you should combine those. This is just a super simple example, but if you really want to take it to the next level, combine 2 or 3 pain points or benefits and things like that. It'll get you even more money. I've personally seen this happen before with the emails, where emails that combine multiple angles a lot of times will perform better than emails that have just one angle. So that's something you might want to keep in mind. But either one will still work, right? Even if you have just one angle, it'll work insanely well as long as it is well researched and you're actually using market research, right? Next one is content. So for designed ecom emails, you want to keep the copy short, right? If it's a designed emails, which is basically just made up of images, you don't want a lot of copy because it just doesn't convert as well, because people are less likely to read it with that much design kind of stuff happening. People are just less in a mood for reading. Versus if you have a plain text email, people have already seen that this is a plain text email, so people are more likely to read it. Start with a nice lead. What this means is basically your first line of your content has to be something that makes them want to read the next line. This is absolutely important. You have to make sure your first line is something that makes them want to read the next line. And then really just almost every line after that should prompt them to read the next one. So like at least like 50-60% of your paragraphs/sentences should make them want to read the next one. And I'm going to give you an example of how this can be done. Disperse relevant social proof throughout. So if you're going to talk about like panda eyes or a certain type of problem, then use social proof, which is just customer reviews that mention that specific problem or mention that specific goal or aspiration, right? You can use multiple CTAs or just one CTA. So if you want to use a call to action, by the way, I didn't mention this. After you write your headline, you want to make sure if you have an evergreen discount, you want to mention that evergreen discount and also use a CTA. Almost always after the headline, use a CTA because it really increases the click rate and that increases the place order rate as a result, right? So let's go back here. So anyway, every line, I just read this, so can use multiple CTAs. So yeah, basically in the content, you should A/B test like having just one CTA at the bottom versus having multiple CTAs kind of dispersed throughout the content. Now, both of them kind of work, but it really depends on your audience, what kind of audience they are, how much they want to read, things like that, how impatient they are, and all of that kind of factors in. That's why you always want to A/B test this type of stuff. That's more dependent on your audience because you can't really make like a generalized prescription for all brands with that. Cover multiple benefits and pain points while focusing on a main one. What I mean by that is like focus on a main pain point or a main set of pain points. So for example, if you want to pick like clumping, smudging, and flaking with mascaras, then you can and you should talk about how the mascara lengthens your lashes and things like that. But the main focus of the email has to be the main pain point, the main, or the main benefit, whatever you're talking about, right? And finally, you can use words and should use words and phrases directly from the target audience as we did with the headlines, right? So I'm going to show you some successful content examples. This one made about $20,000 for one of my clients. So it's basically, let me actually show you. So it was almost impossible, but you can already see like, this entire lead, it's like such an insane amount of curiosity, but also there's this ellipsis at the end, but also it's like one short sentence so they can read it super quickly. And all of these factor in to make them want to read the next thing, also be interested in the email, right? So it was almost impossible, but we made a deal for you that's better than every other deal this year. Whoa, what is the deal? Let me read the next line, right? By the way, if you have like a discount that's like bigger than every other discount, you always want to mention that stuff because like always mention this is the biggest discount of the year if it is actually your biggest discount, because that will always, probably without exception, increase your placed order rates. So yeah. Now, for a very limited time, you can get 30% off on everything you buy. And even if it's just one product, but if you get two or more. So again, there's a question mark here. If you get two or more, what? If you get two or more, what? Let me read the next line, right? A bonus, 100% free shipping wherever you are. There you go. So it's like, hype up the discount. If you have a discount in the promotional email, always hype it up. And this massive deal won't last long. You might want to use it before it expires. Like, it's so simple. Like, the copy is not that difficult to write. This is like super easy to write. You just have to keep in mind certain principles and rules and just, things like that. And this thing I wrote like 2 years ago when I wasn't even good at copywriting, by the way. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. If me 2 years ago can do it, you can do it, right? So it was almost, so by the way, the other thing about this is like, this copy is like, looking back at this copy, it could be so much better. Like I could remove this comma here. I could like shorten this whole paragraph and things like that. I could actually like edit the entire copy. But even though it wasn't perfect, it made a lot more money because we followed the main principles, right? It's the 80-20 of copywriting, really just the 90-10 of copywriting, to be honest. So yeah, this thing made $20,000 from like 700 people. So that's pretty cool. Let me go to the next example. So this is a promotion plus pain point. So this is something you might want to use when you're running really long promotions. And if a promotion is spanning like 10 emails, then you can't just talk about the promotion in every single email. You want to talk about, specific pain points and things like that, in the intermediate kind of emails in between. And that's what we do here. So this was the early bird Black Friday sale, something like that for this brand. And so here's the copy. Ever used a mascara that smudged so much you got panda eyes? The amount of people that resonate with that is actually insane in this market. So this is a great lead as well. Whether it happened quickly or took a few hours, here's good news. Here's, this little, is it a semicolon or colon? It's a colon at the end actually makes them want to read the next line, right? And here's relevant social proof. Other mascaras give me panda eyes, but not this one, right? And here's another one, another piece of social proof, does exactly what it claims. Now, what are we doing here? Even though it isn't particularly relevant, like if it doesn't smudge and doesn't flake, it's not going to give you panda eyes, but it's not super relevant, but it has like 5 different pain points, right? I'm 58. This is a pain point. And it's the point that kind of makes them resonate with the audience because the audience is older women. This is the best I've ever used. Does exactly what it claims. No smudge, no flake. Fabulous. Thank you. Okay. This is a great review to have in an email. There's some reviews that are not really good to have. I'm going to probably make another email on how to select reviews and how to actually make them readable for your email readers. But, super simple. Just keep short reviews and like keep relevant reviews and keep reviews that mention pain points, benefits, goals, things like that. Right. And thousands of women just like you use this mascara to get amazing length and volume each day without smudging, clumping, or flaking. That's it. It's not that difficult. This thing, again, I wrote it like probably 2 or 3 years ago. Made a lot of money, $19,000 from one single email, right? If you know the audience, you can make a lot of money, right, from that audience. Now, here's an example where you don't really have a sale or anything going on. It's really just, just a normal email where you decide to make it like really very well designed and promotional, right? So what do? Don't you hate it when super easy curiosity lead and right? A new mascara you bought either irritates your eyes, is hard to apply, or difficult to remove. This is like 3 different pain points combined in one sentence, right? Or when you try to get that perfect eyeliner line, but it's not as easy as the tutorials. Another pain point, right? Well, I hate all this. So what? Now what, right? So you want to read the next line. Give me a solution to this pain that you just agitated in my heart, right? That's the kind of the way you want to look at it, is like just use their pain. When you're using their pain points, agitate the friggin' pain, right? Go deep. This doesn't obviously, like when you're writing short copy, you don't really have that much leeway to go deep because you have to like really condense your sentences. And however, even with short copy, you can really agitate the pain if you do it correctly, right? It's time to make a stop. There you go, colon at the end, time to read the next line. Here's a social proof, right? And perfect for all ages and all types flashes. Another pain point slash benefit slash just, reason to use our product, to be honest, because they're older women and they don't have very long lashes. They're very short and sparse lashes. We know this about the audience, but if you don't know this about your audience, by the way, you should use a survey or something like that. I'm going to make a separate email about surveys, probably the next video or like in a very near future video. But you need to know what your audience actually is. Like if your audience is like half women and half men, and you're like kind of writing copy just for women or just for men, it's not going to work very well, right? So you want to know what your audience is and actually write it based on who they are. And this email also made 10K. This wasn't like a sale email, but obviously we want to mention the evergreen discount if there is an evergreen discount. Mention it at the end of the content, also at the beginning of kind of the headlines and things like that. These days I kind of write longer emails sometimes, so you might have 2 CTAs. Discount is mentioned like 3 times throughout the email and things like that. But you do, and this, I'm talking about specifically designed e-commerce style emails that you see on Twitter and YouTube and things like that. But you will see like storytelling emails, infotainment, plain text emails perform really, really well as well. And they're extremely important to actually keep your list warmed up and actually make them want to open your emails. Because a lot of times if you just keep sending these highly graphic designed marketing style e-commerce emails, they are going to make money in the short term, but in the long term you're going to lose a lot of the subscribers, and also you're going to lose a lot of the engagement. Like people are not going to want to actually buy from you, even if you have like really nice copy. It's just like, it's boring, and like it kills you to keep on receiving promotional emails from a brand, and like you haven't unsubscribed. If you haven't unsubscribed yet, you've most probably tuned out, and like you're subconsciously ignorant of their emails, and you don't want that to happen. That's why like plain text, infotainment, storytelling emails are so important. I did make a video kind of explaining them, but I'm going to make a longer video explaining all of them soon. The next one is subject line and preview text. Probably the main thing you need to do with the subject line is like curiosity, right? Curiosity, super important. You don't want to give too much away, except if it's a sale or a big discount. If it's a big enough discount, you should mention it in the subject line, because that's going to be the reason to open the email, or apart from the curiosity or something like that. No clickbait, by the way. You can use clickbait every now and then, but if you use it too much, people are going to not open your emails, or like kind of, it's not a nice idea for a brand to use clickbait, right? That's what I'm going to say. Don't give away the idea that this email is just an ad for your product. Obviously the email, if it's just a promotional email, it is an ad for your product. But the reason you don't want to tell people that is because people don't really like being sold to, and also people are kind of bored of promotional emails. But if you position it in like a different curiosity style way, people are going to open it. And again, this is why like plain text, infotainment, storytelling emails do so well, is because you're kind of selling to them without making it seem like you're selling to them. And so people actually like those types of emails, and believe it or not, people actually like being sold to by those types of emails and people who send those types of emails. So yeah. So here's 2 examples. Mascaras that do this, ... This should never happen. You don't, what is this? What is this? What should never happen, right? And you open the email. This is so difficult, or is it? And then you open the email, right? This is, I mean, to be fair, these 2 examples are very similar, but you can use curiosity in a lot of different ways. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. Then, once your copy is done, you want to design it, send it, and make a lot of money, right? I'm going to probably make a separate video on designing as well. There's a lot of videos I need to make. But this is how you write a really, really high converting email for your e-commerce brand. Whatever your brand is, whatever you niche, all you need is market research and super simple copy. So if you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, things like that. And also, if you're struggling with acquisition costs or ads aren't performing, or you just want to retain more customers, there's a link down in the description below. You can check it out if you want to. But even if you don't check it out, you're actually awesome. You're an awesome person, and always remember that, by the way. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.